republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on January 15, 2021, and posted on the district's website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspaper, The Record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. Could we have roll call, please?
Ms. Cho? Here. Ms. Curry?
Here.
Ms. Silver? Here. Ms. Morrell?
Here.
Ms. Richter?
Here.
Ms. Ramba?
Here.
Mr. Rubino?
Here.
Ms. Dassu?
Here.
Ms. Kolbach?
Here.
You have quorum.
The board will be convening to executive session to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. The board will reconvene into public session at approximately 7:30 p.m. tonight. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Morrell, second Rubino. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So we are now in Holland's not here. Okay. We're on. Good with that? Yep. Okay. Welcome back, everyone, and I forgot who led the pledge. Lisa, can you lead us in the pledge? Thank you.
Allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on January 15, 2021, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspaper, The Record, and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the body members present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. May we please have roll call?
Ms. Cho? Here. Ms. Curry?
Here.
Ms. Silver?
Here.
Ms. Morrell? Ms. Richter?
Here.
Ms. Ramba?
Here.
Mr. Rubino?
Here.
Ms. Dassu? Here. Ms. Kolbach?
Here.
You have quorum.
The board convened in an executive session at 6:30 p.m. today to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. Mr. Kravitz, will you begin by sharing your superintendent's report?
Thank you, Ms. Kolbach. As today is my 18th day in the district, I just want to say that we are not stopped creating and developing great programs for our children in the future. We are gathering our data, developing our plans, and we will be presenting them very soon. So far, we've met to create a nursing academy with a local university, a teaching academy with William Patterson University, a vocational trades program, and we're working with 3 other local school districts to develop a program with Fairleigh Dickinson University to develop a STEM high school and a hospitality/culinary program where our students can earn college credits and still attend high school. We have some great major accomplishments in sports this week, including one of our juniors, Stephanie Yakoff, who won the 2021 NJSIAA State Singles Tournament on Sunday morning at Mercer County Park in West Windsor. And Mom wanted to remind everyone we beat Holy Angels. Mom is very proud, and so are we. Our football team beat Indian Hills on senior night, and I would like to thank all the fans for supporting the team, as well as the band, who looked and sounded great. And I saw a lot of board members. It was very nice. It was a great night. I encourage people to come out to our home games and just participate in all school events. Academically, we need to recognize some of our National Merit Scholars. In order to qualify to be a National Merit Scholar, students need to take the PSAT test and score within the top 1% of each state. That means the score cutoff will change depending on where you reside, and as we know, New Jersey continually ranks higher than other states. So these students are Kevin Ding, Alex Gillinson, Ian Gillinson, Jenny Yee, and Rebecca Zhao. So congratulations to those students for academic success. We are beginning to analyze data with the START Strong assessment, as well as our STAR 360 data. The reports for the START Strong assessments will be sent home in December as per the state guidelines. But we look forward to getting our children back on path for academic success, and we're seeing some very, very positive numbers. We will be working on our kindness campaign with our administrators. Just as you see before us the happiness bags, we think it should be throughout our district. So we will be working and creating a plan so they can start to send out thank you notes and notices of kindness throughout our schools. Regarding quarantine concerns that we've received, anyone who does travel must follow the CDC and Fort Lee Health Department recommendations regarding quarantine. However, homework will be provided, which is what's happening now, and the district is looking to hire teachers to offer online help for all of our students, not just those on quarantine. So if a student is struggling with homework, and it's later in the afternoon and early evening, we will give you the opportunity to log on and speak with one of our teachers who can assist with anything. We believe that this is a good compromise and can alleviate some of the concerns while still following the recommendations of the CDC. Lastly, on the agenda this evening is the calendar. I will just take a note, and a letter will be going home to all parents tomorrow regarding the change for Election Day, where we will be changing to a single session day. This is to safely maintain safety in our schools while voting is taking place. So thank you to the board. We are moving forward on day 18.
Terrific, exciting. Thank you for that report. Do we have any committee reports?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the Personnel Committee had a meeting today at 5:30. We talked about various personnel issues and agreed with the recommendation of the superintendent.
Thank you. And just a reminder to everyone, you have to do minutes, and because I did check online, and our folder for committee meeting minutes is kind of empty. So just as a reminder, I know it takes time, but try to just put something in. Go ahead, Candy.
Yes, Ms. Colvin. Mr. Kravitz just mentioned we had a pandemic learning committee meeting also at 6 o'clock. Kristen was there, and Paula and Julie and myself, well, Paula twice. Mr. Kravitz mentioned about it, that the restrictions for travel, it's not changing, but we're going to offer those courses. All our other restrictions are staying the same. Also, the extra help will be funded by our ESSER funds. So we're going to go post it and hire teachers that are willing to do it. So the superintendent will keep us informed when it begins. Also, all other restrictions are staying the same. And we also just had to get together an emergency virtual plan in case the district had to go virtual again. So that's something we have tonight to see. And otherwise, that's it. Everything will stay the same. Thank you.
Anyone else have a committee report? Okay, do board members have questions or comments on tonight's agenda or any other topic?
Actually, could I ask, when it comes to the VOTEC, as well as the nursing like you had mentioned, are we also looking at like Eastwood College or possibly even Bergen Tech? But I know Bergen Tech has several other satellite schools, I believe, even with like Dumont and Milford and I think Demarest as well. So are we also getting, I guess, in a sense, competitive agreements with them too, or looking into possibly working with them for those programs in conjunction or instead of or in lieu of?
So VOTEC would be through Eastwick. We are
Oh, yes.
exploring Eastwick College. As far as Bergen Tech, they have a satellite program in Northern Valley.
Right.
And, they get to dictate how that would work. We're looking at some of the college associations so that our students could graduate with college credit. Not all of the Bergen Tech programs offer college credit. They may offer AP classes that students can possibly receive credit. Our goal is to offer as many programs with local universities or local schools that can offer them pathways. So when they graduate Fort Lee High School, they will be ahead of most students around the county, if not the state. So when we, as I said, when we talk about some of our college level programs that I've described so far, we're looking at the students having the possibility of anywhere from 20 to 60 college credits when they leave Fort Lee High School, so they will be ahead, whereas the other programs don't offer that many.
Right, so, but I imagine that enrollment or the student numbers would be somewhat limited. It wouldn't be able to be everybody, obviously, that would want to be in those programs. So perhaps as an alternative for the students that can't make it into those programs to have something with a satellite, as a satellite school, it doesn't matter, we could look into it.
Sure, we can look into it, and I will speak to the director of the superintendent of Bergen County Schools.
Anyone else? May I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Motion Morel,
Second.
second Richter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So we will hear first from any members of the public that are physically located at the cafeteria tonight, and then we'll take questions and comments from those participating remotely. For remote public participants, please select the raised hand button in the upper left corner. Our board secretary, Hakisha Taylor, will recognize each community member in the order of the raised hands by lowering the hand and unmuting the microphone if you are muted. Please then state your name and home address for the record and begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any members of the public here in the cafeteria who wish to make a public comment tonight?
Yes,
Okay, please identify your name and address.
my name is Catherine Conrad. I have a child in the intermediate school.
Go ahead.
Ready? 3 minutes?
Yes.
All right. All right, so I wanted to revisit a question that was brought up during the July meeting for the candidate statement, the question pertaining to lobbying. I was rather perplexed by why this question even came up, considering it's a given that lobbying is not something that you should be engaging in your current positions. But what I realized over the next couple of months was it wasn't this normal sense of lobbying, the normal outside in, but rather the inside out. To put it into context and to further capitalize on a term that was used in the last meeting, the chatter on Facebook, you see there's a different sort of chatter now coming through our community, one that is divisive and one that is very calculating. Chatter that 2 of your board members have had conversations with our town's leaders to discourage their support of a specific candidate in an attempt to distract sound judgment and honest decision-making by our community. Chatter that one of your board members is actively soliciting support for their preferred candidate within the community through their circle of influence. Chatter of a specific board member trolling the like buttons and responses on Facebook posts to then privately send messages of, "How could you even like that post? You need to support candidate X." And when those backhanded tactics don't work and an onslaught of public attack begin, in response to the same board member leveraging their personal relationships garnered through the publicly based organizations to further promote hostility and contempt in our community. But let's really call it what it is. It's called bullying. Cyberbullying, to be specific. One of the behaviors that we ask our children not to engage in, but yet here we are. The very behavior of these 2 board members that are not only engaging in this act, but ultimately promoting it. I have been chastised. I've been called a coward. I've been called disgusting because I chose to limit the access of one particular board member. This board member used the same tactics in the past to try to disarm my voice and my concern, and it didn't work. This board member will never be able to have access to what I post privately or publicly because of my choice and her tactics. What's ironic is we sat here and listened to the request of respect from the board president 2 weeks ago, even witnessed an attempt at a campaign of kindness. Yet in reality, I believe there needs to be an introspective conversation of how in particular these 2 board members are contributors to the very essence of what is tearing our community apart. Assemblywoman Joan Voss at the 9/11 ceremony spoke about teaching our children how to have pride in our country and in our community. Yet how could we, when the very same people who are implementing policy are engaging in the most juvenile display of leadership I have ever seen? Our community deserves better. Our students deserve better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin.
Do we have any raised hands?
One second, please.
You do. Tanya, I'm promoting you to panelist. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Tanya?
I'm coming. Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Tanya Byers Kang, and I live at 275 Tom Hunter Road. Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Kravitz, so much for coming to the football game. Some of the parents told me they saw you and were really happy. That's a really wonderful thing, and I'm very happy to hear that. I am disappointed about the quarantine announcement that was just made. It's hard for me to be okay with open stadiums and Jonas Brothers concerts and so many other huge events that are happening, and the students are able to go and be around all the people that are coming from all over the place. They're coming from West Virginia, South Virginia. They're coming all up to go to concerts and games. The MetLife Stadium was packed for the Giants game, and they're able to go back to school and not a problem at all. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm happy that, you are, looking at other avenues, but I do find it hard. I did reach out to Ms. Scarpa. So you're saying, is the board saying, is the district saying that this is all Mrs. Scarpa that is giving this guidance?
So, Ms. Baker and I have met with Ms. Scarpa. We had a pandemic response team meeting, and together we have decided to keep the plan that was originally created intact. And that's what the board pandemic committee has decided with myself and Ms. Baker, that this would be the best practice at this time.
Okay, because I just didn't want it to fall on her shoulders, and I didn't think it was really falling on her shoulders. Because I did think it was a board decision. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I mean that sincerely. The next question I have is about on the bills list. The PO number is 2120456. It's Jacoby. I don't want to butcher the name, Aliferi and Jacobs. It's for $14,542.30. So I'm wondering, how often does the Fort Lee Board of Education pay the attorneys that amount? Is it quarterly, or how does it work?
Good afternoon, Ms. Byers Kang.
Thank you, Ms. Akeisha Taylor.
I will be responding to your band boosters email later today. Thank you for that. We receive invoices from vendors and from specifically Jacoby on a monthly basis. And they fluctuate based on the various different items that they help us in advisement of, which includes special education, negotiations, not the negotiation, but there's a group of, a category of things, but we receive invoices monthly.
Right. I believe that we kept the special education attorney as the Dennis McKeever's attorney firm. Right. So that wouldn't include this attorney. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering my question. I hope everyone has a very wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Bye, Tanya.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Irina, I'm promoting you to panelist. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Irina?
Hi, Irina Karash, 233 month. I'm sorry, I missed the first part of this meeting, but I heard Tanya speaking. What is the quarantine rule?
So the quarantine rule will stay the same. However, as you know, anyone who is on quarantine does receive homework. The only difference now is the district will be providing tutoring for any child. So if the student is having difficulty with their homework, they can log on. They'll be able to log on with a teacher from our district who will then be able to assist them with the homework. So we will not be offering virtual instruction, but virtual tutoring for that subject, as well as all students will have access to that.
Wait, so if my kid is in class, we get quarantined, you're telling me it falls upon me to instruct them?
No, the district will have a tutoring program. They will log on and they will be able to access a tutor, meaning one of our teachers.
Right, but like but they won't have Zoom, you're saying?
No, they will have access to a Google Meet or a Zoom call between roughly 3.5 hours after school hours. If they have questions regarding how to do the homework or do the assignments, they will have a teacher. They will have access to a teacher during that time.
Okay, what about during school hours?
Yeah, I think she's asking if you're on quarantine.
No, so unfortunately, they will not have access during school hours. They will only have access after school hours.
So then I have to basically sit with my kids for the hours and make sure they're doing it, and it falls on the parent.
So we are still following the CDC guide, the recommendations. The pandemic response team from the board met. Ms. Baker and I met with Ms. Scarpa, and overall, everyone felt that it was best to maintain the CDC recommendations.
I understand that, but why not have, I thought the rule when we started the school year was if you choose to take your kid traveling and you have to quarantine, that is on you. But if a class due to COVID is quarantined, then we would have Zoom.
Yes, that is the CDC, that is the recommendations in our roadmap that was created by the Board of Education, and we will be following that exact plan that you just described.
So nothing changed.
Correct. Just for everything that's in the roadmap has stayed the same. The only difference is now after school hours, there will be tutoring for all of our students, and anyone has access to a teacher if they're having difficulty with any assignment.
Okay, that's fine. Any news on Ms. Giacomelli? I mean, we're in school one. We'd like to know if we're ever getting a principal.
So legally, as you know, and I know the board has said this multiple times, no one can comment about personnel issues. So unfortunately, we cannot comment about personnel in public. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Mr. Osso, I've promoted you. Thank you, Irina. Mr. Osso, I've promoted you to panelist. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Mr. Osso.
Mike Osso, 230 Warren Avenue, Fort Lee. First of all, I just want to say congratulations, Mr. Kravitz. Congratulations coming back home. Wish you nothing but success, sir.
Thank you.
Question, with the quarantine, so if a child is in quarantine, that child does not have access to remote learning, correct?
They have access to assignments, and then they have access to a tutor after school, just like all of the children would, to assist in any homework assignments they may have.
Okay.
Provided, if you read the roadmap, provided if they're vaccinated or not vaccinated, where they're traveling, everything is outlined in the roadmap that has not changed at all.
Okay. Understand something when you recite CDC recommendations and guidelines. Inside the CDC guidelines, it says specifically it can be a community matter.
Yes, and that's why
it says that clearly. It can ultimately go back into the community. So the community can have an adjustment that can offer remote learning to children and students in quarantine. There is nothing that says that inside the CDC guidelines. So
the Board of Education has an ad hoc pandemic response committee. They have developed the plan. We met earlier this evening. Ms. Ramba was in charge this evening. The decision was made that would be the best amongst all of us, including reaching out to the health official, which by recommendation, actually, most of the guidance that we received says the health official in most municipalities should be driving a lot of those decisions. So among the health official in Fort Lee, as well as the pandemic response team from the board, the decision was made to maintain the roadmap, road ahead map, reopening plan to stay the same. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Kravitz, I think they might be being confused though. If the children are on quarantine because they've been exposed, it's different, then they're gonna be.
If you are exposed because, if you are determined to be quarantined because you have been in contact with someone, then you will receive virtual instruction.
That's right.
If you test positive, you will receive virtual instruction. It's only.
So basically, if a child goes out of state, comes back, and they have to quarantine, correct? They would not have access to remote learning.
Correct. Everything that's outlined in the plan is exactly what we're still maintaining.
But that is not a recommendation anywhere stated inside the CDC guidelines.
Ms. Baker, did you want to comment?
Yes, I do. Hi, Mr. Osso. This is Ms. Baker speaking. So the Department of Education has been very clear that regarding the parameters where remote instruction can be provided. Remote instruction cannot be provided as a result of a travel quarantine. It's only due to COVID-related illness or exposure. And
It is not inside the CDC guidelines that states
No,
that.
but we also.
It is the governor's mandate that says that. Let's be clear.
Correct.
Right.
That is as per the Department of Education.
So it is not following the CDC guidelines. It is following the governor's mandate.
We're following the CDC guidelines.
It is not the CDC guideline. Trust me when I tell you, I have read the CDC guidelines.
I understand. I just want to be able to finish my sentence, please. The CDC guidelines that we're following are with regards to the travel quarantine. The New Jersey Department of Health, as well as our local health department, recommend that we follow CDC guidelines with regards to travel quarantine. Where remote instruction is provided is what's being driven by the Department of Education and the New Jersey Department of Health. So I just wanted to clarify both those points.
Right, so it's not the CD, when you're not following the CD, you're following the New Jersey Department of Health.
We're following the CDC guidelines as per the guidance we received from the New Jersey Department of Health where it comes to travel quarantine.
So you're punishing a child for leaving the state for whatever reason. It is not inside the CDC guidelines. It is a New Jersey Department of Health issued by the mandate by the governor of the state of New Jersey in Executive Order 251. Let's be clear about this. Have a good day. My time is up. Have a good night. Mr. Kravitz, congratulations. Good luck.
Thanks.
There are no other raised hands. Okay, can I have a motion to close the floor to public? Motion, Rubino? Second, Morel, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Let's move on to resolutions.
There's an amendment, right?
Yes, we have one.
Would you like to make a motion, Paul?
I'll make a motion on the amendment.
So, there's a motion on the floor to amend 16P. It will be amended to read as follows. Therefore, be it resolved that the Fort Lee Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves Stephen Dominguez to provide up to 100 hours of grant training to transition the Title I faculty coordinator at the hourly rate of $45 an hour, not to exceed $1,875. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Morel, second. I'll second it. Thank you, Ms. All in, so the resolution, instead of him being able to make up to 4,500, it's in a maybe you want to explain what the genesis of the
Sure.
motion, just so that they know.
We're going to cap, we have decided to cap the number of hours and the number of timelines. We expect most of the work to be completed by December 1st. So therefore, we're adjusting the hourly, the number of hours, which is a maximum of $1,875.
Okay. Are there further discussion items on that? Any questions on the motion? Okay, so why don't we, you want to do roll call on the motion? Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Richter? Yes.
Ms. Han Silver,
Yes.
Ms. Sasu,
Yes.
Ms. Morel,
Yes.
Ms. Joe,
Yes.
Ms. Curry,
Yes.
Mr. Rubino,
Yes.
Ms. Colback,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, so that will be 16P as amended. May I have a motion to approve items 1B through 4B?
Motion Ramba.
Motion Ramba, second Stasu. Roll call, please.
Ms. Joe? Yes. Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Sasu? Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1B and G through 3B and G?
Motion Ramba.
Second.
Motion Ramba, second Morel. Roll call, please.
Ms. Sasu?
Yes.
Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Joe? Yes. Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1 CUR through 3 CUR?
Motion.
Motion Richter, second Rubino. Roll call, please.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Sasu?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Joe? Yes. Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1F through 7F?
Motion Ramba.
Second.
Motion Ramba, second Morel. Roll call, please.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Ms. Sasu?
Yes.
Ms. Joe? Yes. Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1P through 17P, and 16P will be as amended?
Motion.
Second. Motion Morel, second Richter. Roll call, please.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Sasu?
Yes.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes.
Ms. Joe? Yes. Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Richter? Yes. Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve item 1 POL?
Motion.
Second Ramba.
Motion Morel, I think second Ramba? Yes.
Ms.
Roll
Ramba?
call?
Ms. Richter? Yes. Ms. Han Silver?
Yes.
Ms. Joe? Yes. Mr. Rubino?
Yes.
Ms. Sasu?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Ms. Morel?
Yes.
Ms. Colback?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Can you tell us what's in these yellow bags, Ms. Curry?
Yes, I will. So my theme, my kindness theme this week is to spread kindness with a smile. So I've handed out to all of the board members and administrators these smiley face bags. Inside each bag are smiley stress balls, pens and Post-its.
So we need more than that.
And some inspirational cards.
There goes my ball.
So I'm hoping that you will share this with someone that's in need, that needs, an uplift or needs a smile put on their face. It could be as simple as maybe a child who didn't do so well on an exam or didn't do so well in an athletics game. It could be a teacher, a crossing guard, someone that you just know that, could use an uplift or having a bad week. And lastly, within each bag is another bag. I'm hoping that whoever the recipient is will take the inspiration to actually pay it forward. So, thank you.
Thank you. And Mike, you're up next meeting, okay?
Okay. It'll be interesting.
Any other new business? Yes, go ahead, Esther.
One, just a quick thing, the other sports are, I don't have the schedule, but they do have senior nights coming up. I just say that because I know that the girls soccer team, their senior night is on Tuesday.
Tomorrow?
Oh yeah, tomorrow is, thank you, I lose track of the days of the week. The other thing, I did have questions, not necessarily on the agenda, that's why I didn't bring it up before. On the bills list was for the windows, so I did have some questions about the windows. I don't know if you've seen, they've been installing windows at the high school, which is great, because the old windows were not energy efficient at all. The downside, which I was just finding out, is that the old windows could be opened fully, which allowed a lot of good airflow. I just found out that I guess even at the high school, they do have to follow, I guess, school building requirements. Even though it's
Like 4
older.
inches or something.
Yeah.
Must be a code or something.
I guess even though it's older grades, that they can only be opened so much.
4 inches.
So, and as you all know, the high school has, not very many rooms that have air conditioning, and granted, now it's cooler. So, I mean, that's going to be an issue come the warmer months, when now they're going to realize they can't open up their windows for airflow.
Esther, do they pull down from the top? Because I know in my building, my windows, the bottom only opens so much, but I can pull the top down so the air
So you get some
circulates.
cross,
Yeah.
so maybe that's what they'll
I
have to
remember in high school, we had those big wooden
Yes.
poles. You could
That's
put
what I
on
have.
top of
I
the
still
sun.
have yes.
So,
It's an electrical issue probably,
yeah, so I don't know,
like the other schools.
in many older buildings, it's not just the air conditioning that's the concern, it's the upgrading the electrical to support all of that air conditioning, or to switch to an entire central air conditioning system would be.
Probably millions of dollars.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something we can look into, especially because we have some money in capital reserves, and as we're moving into budget season, I know Ms. Taylor and I will be open to any conversations that people have. We have some money in capital reserves, so we can definitely look to it, especially as we recognize that it's getting, the last couple of days have been 75 degrees and nice, and it's supposed to be about 10 degrees cooler. No, it's now cooler, so climate is changing.
Yeah, so just kind of wanted to, bring it up. Come next calendar year, I won't be sitting here, but I may be coming up here and complaining that, the kids are too hot in the high school. All right? So, and I'll say, hey, remember, I mentioned it in October, so we're giving you forewarning.
Anyone else?
Can I ask 2 questions actually?
Sure.
So, kind of riding off of that, for the heat, are buildings prepared in terms of heaters and everything like that? Is everything in working condition? Number 1, I don't know if Scott's on that. I know that a lot of the buildings, like apartment buildings in Fort Lee, they were already transitioned and turned off the AC, or will be transitioning. And
I told you just today.
right, so just how are we on that? And then second thing, again, for the budget, I understand that the math program, that's a summer math program in the intermediate school, I think it's from 6th to 7th grade math, they have the advanced math program where parents still pay $500 for their student to attend. Just wanted to know if it's something that the board might feel being able to support, having the board pay instead of each parent pay for their child to attend, if that could be put into consideration. My understanding is that there may be 60 to 80 students or something like that that could be, that are admitted into that program during the summer. And perhaps it would be helpful, because I think that's the only program that we have right now where we're asking the parents to pay, just to make it equitable for all, especially in light of COVID and everything that transpired. So
Sure.
Absolutely, and actually, we would start probably in November to start to look at the summer programs, because we'd love to create STEM programs and music programs to really enhance our summer offering for those kids who need remedial work, as well as kids who want to excel. That's the goal, right? We even talked about, as we talked about a high school level, those kids who want to accelerate through. We should have those opportunities for all of our students, from first grade all the way up, right? That's the goal. So open to that idea, absolutely, and it should be the district. We have, right now, we have a lot of grant funding that we have. We'd like to continue to find more grants available, and I think we'll be able to do that.
Anyone else? We have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion would be the second staff to, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Thank you all.